Hi there, this is Drew Green. You can find me at drew-green.tumblr.com. Uh, right now, I'm just going to show you my process of coloring kind of informally. So, yeah, just feel free to watch me work. Turn the sound on, turn the sound off. I'll be yammering a little bit here and there. You'll have to forgive me because sometimes I'll go to the bar at the bottom and change my music, but other than that, which you can't hear, other than that, yeah, it'll just be me working. So yeah, uh, just so you know, I am working in Adobe Photoshop CS6, and all the brushes that I use are brushes that I've created, which I intend to sell on Gumroad pretty soon. Um, but for now, I'm just posting this for fun. So, yeah. I probably won't talk that much. I don't have that much to say. But hey, I like to cover my bases. Alright. Oh, and just for some context, this is I guess a pinup of Aquaman that somebody challenged me and the lovely Hamish Steele uh, to do, and we'll see if Hamish has the time to do one. But I thought it would be fun to do because why not? Because, you know, Aquaman has that awesome beard and everything. Who doesn't want that? Uh, I like to I like to close my edges because when I color, what I usually do is I will use my magic wand tool and go to sample all layers up here, so that when I click, it will sample all of the layers. It will make a selection with every layer in mind. Um, obviously, that's obviously what that means. But it will only affect. I guess when I fill the selection, it will only affect the layer that I'm on. I didn't do a super good job of explaining that, but it makes some degree of sense. Probably doesn't help that I'm listening to music, which is fairly distracting, but whatever. I'm not a teacher. Um, when I do select, I like to expand that selection by 1 or 2 pixels in order to make sure that it completely fills the area that I've selected and doesn't leave any weird edges or anything. And what you can do to do that is you can go to Select, Modify, and Expand. Um, but I've actually set it to an action because I do it so often. And if you want to learn about actions, there are plenty of places to go online to learn about those. But basically, you can make an action to perform uh, a function, um, potentially a multi-stepped function with one press of a button. And I have my expand selection. I think it's 2 pixels set to my F2 button. So yeah, it's super handy. I like it. Do it all the time. You should learn about actions if you have not already. Probably might lighten up his beard or something. I don't know. We'll get there. Silly green gloves. Now, if you have any questions for me, you're more than welcome to contact me on Twitter at King of Safari. I'm drew-green.tumblr.com, as I mentioned before, so you can send me a Tumblr ask. So, yeah, I'm pretty easy to get in touch with. Oh, no, I didn't want the yellow. I think I wanted the green again. Yeah, the one regret I have about this design, this just quick design of my Aquaman dude, is I think I'm gonna just have the orange color not even be present. I mean, I guess I could probably get away with making his shorts orange. Let me see. It'd be a shame to have one of his major colors not even be present in the design. I'm gonna make that more gold too. Yeah, I think we'll just do that. I don't feel so guilty. Let's try making that look a little more like a natural. Nah, I don't like it. We'll leave it light. Then, I think I wanted to make that gold. Yeah, make that a little more pronounced. Now to give him some blush on his cheeks and nose and ears and chesticles. I'll name that blush. When I make a new layer, say a layer for like the shine of the hair or even the blush, what I like to do is I'll make a new layer above the base layer, and I'll press Ctrl G to make a layer mask so that anything that I draw on this layer will not go outside of the area of the layer below it. So yeah, you can see all that down here on the layers palette. It's super handy. I do it all the time. So definitely consider doing that, especially if you have a very simple style. It's really handy. And let's get those nips looking blushed. Alrighty. Okay. Let's put a shine in his hair. Why not? I'm not feeling particularly cerebral about this image, so we'll just do whatever looks fun. And as I said, if you like what you see of my brushes here, I will be, I want to zoom in on that. I will be selling them on Gumroad soon. I just need to put together some videos that show how the brushes work in action. But I will do that. I just have not done that yet because I'm busy and weirdly, paradoxically, slightly lazy. But I'll do it. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do before I continue with the... Well, actually, wait. I wanted to add scars to my Aquaman because I guess I'm a sadist. I don't know. I just thought it would look cool. Let's add a few there, a few there, and why not a few there? I guess he's battle hardened. I don't know. Probably not the best choice of words considering. Anyway, that was a bad joke. Let's lighten that eye color up a bit. I am going to, usually I would try and eyeball the colors myself, but this time I'm going to use filters to make him kind of sort of be more at home with his background. Just because I'm not looking to spend a lot of time on this. So for now, we're going to leave his colors the way they are before we do any sort of shading or highlights or color filters, because I'm going to paint in the background first. So what I'm going to do for the background is I'm going to create a new group, which is this little folder icon down here. It's super handy. As you can see, my character folder is grouped by inks and colors. So I'm going to do something sort of, I guess I'm only going to have just the one group for my background. I'm going to name it background, of course. I like to type it in all caps because it allows me to see it easily from when I'm just sort of glancing at my palette. So, let's see. Then I like to create my layers, and if you have a group selected, and you create a new layer, and the group is open, like this, the folder is open, as you can see. It'll create the layers from the from the from the bottom to the top. So let's see. I'm going to create my background layers first. So I'm going to go and make I'm going to call this very last one water. Let's see. Coral 2. Seaweed. That's spelled seaweed wrong. Seaweed 2. Coral 1. My typing is not doing too well today. Seaweed 1. Fish lines, and bubbles. Alright. Then I like to save, because save often. Just Control S. Super easy. No excuse not to. Okay. I'm going to start. I'm not going to start there. I'm not going to put my bubbles in yet. Let's put down our fish lines first. And I have this cool kind of rough style brush called my rough pen that I like to use to put in all my background lines so that it's sort of the characters in the backgrounds sort of look like, I don't know, the characters sort of stand out against the backgrounds, I think. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I guess I will go ahead and put my bubbles in. Ugh. No. Good enough. This is sort of like what it's like to watch me ink. So it's a terrible sort of process to have to witness because I'm so fussy about my inks, generally speaking. Even more so on a piece that isn't just sort of a quick, kind of cute throwaway like this one. I hate it when I'm listening to a song that's on my Spotify playlist and I don't honestly really love it and I don't really feel like listening to it, but perhaps I'm just too embarrassed to go down to my little bar and skip it because then you'll know what I'm listening to. So I'm just going to let this one play out. It's almost done, thank God. Alright, that was totally irrelevant, but really, really important for you to know. Let's see. Oh, here's another really good tip. You see all these color sliders over here. Most people will have it set to the RGB slider by default, or the grayscale slider, depending on your color mode, I guess, or CMYK. But there's the LAB sliders, which are really handy because they allow you to add lightness and darkness to your color that's on your foreground palette, and also warmth and coolness. I guess coolness is a word. I'm not totally sure. I don't know. So let's say I have this horrid puke green thing that I just came up with that I'm not going to use because it's horrible. Let's say I want to darken it. Great. Maybe I want to add some blue to it. Awesome. Maybe even some pink. Cool. Now I have a totally different color. Great. So yeah, do that. It's really handy for digital painting. I use it all the time, and I love it. Right now, I want sort of that'll do. Sort of orangey kind of color for my fish. Oop. God damn it, it's another shitty song. Well, it's not shitty, I'm just tired of hearing it. Fishies. Now, when I'm doing my my background layers, because I don't use line art for them extensively. I like to turn off my sample all layers, and I like to make sure that all of my background shapes are closed, so that I can keep my sketch layer on and still work with that without having to constantly turn it off. And I guess that's the real reason I don't want to leave on the sample all layers. Because if you sample all layers and your sketch is turned on, then you also sample the sketch when you click your magic wand, and that's super not handy. Alright, let's do seaweed. I'm going to pull from the color of his gloves, but I'm going to lower it. I'm going to add some blue to it, maybe even a little bit of warmth, just so that it kind of balances it out, makes it a little duller. Gosh, I really should have just made a whole layer for lines, which I think I will do. Probably consolidate that with my bubbles too. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Coral 1. Let's pull that seaweed color, darken it a little bit, add blue to it, also some warmth, again, to dull it up. Dull it down. Dull it. In whatever way that we choose to dull it. Remember, I like to close my shapes, so I'm going to draw a line from here to here, and that shape should be closed. Yes, it's closed. There we go. And now I'm going to actually move my seaweed 2 behind my coral 2. Let's make a darker color for coral 2. And draw in our coral 2. Awesome. May not go darker with the final image. I haven't decided yet, but that'll do for now. And let's pull from this seaweed and go darker on that as well. Ugh, another song I don't want to hear. I have terrible taste. Terrible taste. Alrighty. Okay, maybe we should move this seaweed. It's kind of awkwardly placed. Definitely doesn't look suggestive at all. Probably, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and now this water. Let's go with a really nice blue. Ugh, no, it's horrible. It's not SpongeBob. Not that there's anything wrong with SpongeBob. We'll add some atmosphere to it. It's all good. I do want to go lighter on this color though. Add some blue to it. This is Control H on a PC. It's hue saturation. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, yeah. And let's lighten our seaweed too. Add some saturation. Make it a little more blue. Not quite that light. Not quite that dark either. Okay. A little more blue. There we go. Good enough. Okay. Let's draw in the lines for that seaweed. Actually, seaweed and maybe a little bit of the coral too. The sequel to Coral 1. I said that. Okay. Now, let's make this look not terrible, because right now... Oh, I dropped the mic. Oh no. Everything is terrible. That's all good. Oh, I really dropped it though. Oh, damn. Okay. Alright. Let's make this look not terrible. Now that I'm done dropping you. Anyway. Save often. Okay. Okay. So, we're going to start by adding some quick shading to our... Actually, let's add a highlight to it, to our coral. Let's get a little bit blue on that. Control G, just like I said. I'm going to go into pencil mode, which allows you to use your brushes, but they're not anti-aliased, so they look very pixely. But it's good because it's very sharp and clean. And I have this big brush, and it's a big version of my gouache brush, and I use it for situations like this, just to really simply like put down some colors, I guess. That's the only seaweed of that color. Let's make that smaller. And whatever, it's fine, seaweed. You look fine. You look fine, seaweed. It's okay. Whatever, it's fine. Confidence. Alright, let's shade the fishies. Shade the fishies. Oh good, a song that I like. As with my general inking brush and my rough pen, this brush will also be in the brush set when I finally actually release it, so that's good. Alright, coral. We're going to shade the coral. Add some blue to that. Maybe not so much blue. Desaturate that a bit because I feel like I added too much blue to it. Alright, good. Alright, now the second coral layer, shade that. Not quite that much. It's a lot. You want to be kind of subtle with your colors. If you overdo it, it'll look cheap. Nobody wants that. Alright, and I'm going to add a little bit of shade to the seaweed. Oh, shade. The shade of it all. I'm like the gay Bob Ross. Okay. And let's add some shade to the water too. Just a little bit. Not quite so blue. There we go. I don't consider it cheating to add filters to your work later, so we're going to add a highlight too to the water. So this will look more atmospheric when I kind of add in some filters later. So just bear with me. That's not quite working the way I was hoping it would. But that's fine, because it's not a big deal. Alright. Whatever. Let's go back up to these lines. You can make a layer above your lines layer, just like you can do for any base color. And I'm going to call these color holds because it's like the line is holding the color in. You'll see. For my bubbles, I like to go kind of light. Let's go back to brush mode. I don't want to use that pencil brush right now. So yeah, I just like to color in my lines to make everything look more uniform and nice, and I guess not uniform, but cohesive. Cohesive might be a better word. Okay, probably not the best place to put that bubble, but whatever. Shade the fish lines, or not shade them, just, you know, you get it. Let's do the seaweed. The coral 2, straight to video. Coral 1. Okay, and seaweed 1. Yay! Alright. So as you can see, the background's already looking kind of cohesive. It's terribly cheap, but whatever. I'm going to go to my seaweed 1 and lower that highlight. Just by pressing one of the number keys, I can change the opacity to a, sort of a different opacity amount, as you can see here in the layers palette. You could also just slide that, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to press 5, so it's 50%. Anyway, that'll make sense once you do it. I'm not good at explaining things clearly. I am not a teacher. Alright. Let's add some kind of filtery stuff really quickly on the background. Let's go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer. We're still in our background folder on the Layers palette, by the way. New Adjustment Layer. Let's do Gradient Map. That's fine the way it is. You want to go click on this, and let's see, we want our low lights. Let's do something interesting. Let's do like a deep red for our shadows, our deep shadows. For the highlight, we'll do like a nice seafoam. And in the middle here, we'll make it not quite that blue. It's kind of horrifying. Let's try that. This isn't really reading. There we go. Okay. So now that this gradient map is its own layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the opacity of that. Let's try 30%. As you can see, it's very, very different, although not as different as I expected it to. Let's do 40%. Now we're going to kind of inform the color of our superhero here. You can do a layer mask on, or sort of, an opacity layer. Well, what is it called? Clipping mask. That's what I've been looking for. I may have used that earlier. But yeah, if you make a layer above a layer group, a folder, you can do a clipping mask the way you have for your other layers by pressing Control-G. And so now, let's say I want to draw all up in my superhero, just his general colors. I can do that without it going outside of his colors. So that's a great way to put in filters. For this one, we're going to do something a little more special. Save often. We're going to go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer. Let's do Hue Saturation. And then this time you want to click on Use Previous Layer to create Clipping Mask, so that it'll have that clipping mask effect. I'm going to lower his opacity, or his lightness. I'm also going to lower the saturation because it will take. Let's not lower him quite that much. There we go. It will take the the color filters better. So we're going to go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer. Let's do color balance. Let's try that. Um, yeah, you want to do use previous layer again. We're going to add some cayenne, and let's try a little bit of blue. I feel like this is too dark, so I'm going to lighten that back up a bit. And I'm gonna give him some of his color back too. Well, actually, that's fine. It'll look fine. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to press Ctrl G because it's still adhering to the colors folder, and I am going to set this layer to screen, and I am going to add sort of an under highlight, I guess. I'm not quite sure what the technical term for that would be, but you'll understand when you see me doing it. It's probably too big. So yeah, I just want to add some highlight beneath his forms to give him a little more shape. And again, this is sort of a quick piece, so I'm not really overthinking it too much. This is not a particularly exhaustive tutorial, but hopefully it will help. Let's put some highlight on his package. Oh dear. And his legs. Look at those thighs. Thighs for days. You're welcome, Tumblr. Let's add a little there too. I'll deal with the metal in a second. Boobies. Highlights on his boobies. Because I'm responsible. I'm an adult. Okay. A little bit on his arm over here too. Alrighty. Let's make a separate, call that metal. Just in case it's going to be separate. Set that to screen. Oh, sample all. Gonna select that again. Kind of looks like the Star Trek symbol. That, or I've just angered some Star Trek fans, which is certainly likely. Alright, I'm going to lighten up our highlight layer a bit. Let's add some saturation to that to make it really blue. Do I want to lighten it up? Yeah, there we go. That's better. So that's the difference. That's better, I guess. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another layer. Call it gradient. Probably spelled gradient wrong. I spelled gradient wrong, didn't I? No, I didn't. I spelled it right. Awesome. And I'm just going to go to my gradient tool. Make sure that you have your gradient selected that is half transparent. And I like to use the sort of standard linear gradient. And I'll just add a gradient from top to bottom, not all the way. I'm going to make this a screen layer. Oh no. And then I'm going to add some color to it. Let's make this a little more greenish in color. And alright. Yeah, it works. Because what I'm about to do might not work, but that's fine, because it's really important to try new things. Okay. I'm going to now do the same thing. I'm going to call this ripples, because I can't think of what else to call it. Let's make this a color dodge layer, because it'll probably come up more pronounced if I do. Alright, so now we're going to use our eraser tool. I'm just going to get a nice big eraser. And just add in those water ripples. Again, this may not work. I'm sort of starting to feel like it probably will not. But hey, it is always good to try things even when you're not sure how they'll turn out. Because some of the coolest stuff in art is from trying stuff. Pretty sure this is not working. That's okay though. At least you know how to do the cool water ripples thing if you're, in a really quick, lazy environment. That's pretty cool, right? Probably just don't want it to be all over his face like that. No, it was a cool idea, but we're going to delete that. Okay. Let's go to our inks layer, or our inks folder rather, which just contains our inks layer right now. Let's make a layer above it, and then do a clipping mask. I'm going to call that holds again, because that's what we're doing. We're going to do these colored lines again. Okay. There we go. I just like to color some certain parts just to give it a little more life. You know, we don't want those nipples to look dead. It'd be a real damn shame. Oh, well then, okay. Okay. Oop. Let's see. Okay. All right. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this little guy. I'm going to make a new folder. Let's call it filters, because that's fun. And I'm going to select my whole canvas. I press Control A to do that, but you can also go to Select All. And I'm going to go to Edit, Copy Merged. And I'm just going to paste that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to completely desaturate that new layer. It's the entirety of your image. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go to Image Adjustments. Let's do Threshold, because this will give you a perfect black and white kind of thing of your image version. Black and white and completely aliased as well, or aliased I think is the word. So it's, it kind of looks like stairs. It's very harsh black and white pixels. Alright, now I'm going to go to, or actually I'm going to set this layer to screen in the layers palette. Nope, screen, not lighten. I want screen. There we go. Okay. And I am going to go go to Hue Saturation, and I'm going to click on this little thing that says Colorize. And that'll colorize anything into sort of a monochromatic palette, and you can choose which color palette that is on your hue bar. And I'm going to darken it. I'm going to up my saturation. Let's make it kind of a greenish blue. This may not work. Let's darken it a lot more. Alright. And then what I'm going to do, and this is just a cool trick, and I may redo this because it may be too much white space, too much, I don't know if it would be positive or negative space in this situation. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, and I guess it's pronounced Gaussian Blur, not totally sure, but whatever. And I'm going to blur the shit out of that. Ooh, that is not working at all. That is not doing what I wanted it to do. Okay. What I am going to do, I'm going to try that again. Okay. Let's do that again. And if this doesn't work the second time, whatever. At least I tried it. Whatever. Alright. Ugh. Damn it, Aquaman. There is no middle point here. Okay, well that's just not going to work. It doesn't matter. Okay, I am going to paste my fully copied image again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Gaussian blur again, Russian blur, I don't know, and I'm going to blur it probably about that much, and I'm going to set it to overlay, and I'm going to lower the opacity to, let's say, 40%. Now I want to add some more color filters to it because I just don't feel like it feels cohesive. So I'm going to go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer. Let's try a gradient map again because that tends to add the most dynamic kind of result. Okay. Our darkest color, let's try that red again. Let's get it real red. There we go. Lights, we're going to do greenish color. Let's see if adding any middle tones will do any good. Maybe not. No. Oh, no, no! I clicked on you. That means I want you gone. No. No. Well, it doesn't like me. Oh, there we go. Okay. Lower that to 30. That's interesting, I guess. Let's do one more thing. Let's make a layer, a new layer. We're going to set it to color. Let's try color. We may try something else too. Let's just get a nice blue and just plaster it all over the damn image. Lower the opacity, 20%. No, I feel like it's more interesting without that. Okay, and one more thing, I guess, probably maybe one more thing. New layer in your filters layer. Let's set it to pin light. I'm just going to do this with the blue, I guess. And I'm going to use my gradient, and I'm just going to run a gradient all over the image. Alright, let's lighten that blue up. Ooh, lordy. Well, that may not have been a good idea. Ooh, that's kind of cool, though. It's like he's in hell. That's interesting. Doesn't do what I want it to do. Let's try something else. Okay. Well, yeah, I know. Okay, that's not really... the red's cool, but it doesn't feel right for the image, so I'm gonna Actually a little bit, a slight layer of that red is cool. Alright, finally I'm going to finish this image by signing it, because that's cool. Close my filters folder, make a new layer above it called signature, because this makes me feel like I'm done, and that's a good feeling. I like to pick a color from the image, usually something that'll stand out pretty nicely. It's a little hard to know where to sign in this case because there's not a lot of free space, so I'm just going to sign in the bottom left-hand corner. And, I mean, I don't need to tell you how to sign your own name, but I'm going to do mine. Oop. My name never looks the same twice. I think it's because I don't really know what to do with the G. Oh, I forgot one thing. Oh no. Let's hide our filters layer above our holds layer in our inks folder. Above our inks layer, above our holds layer. I like to put an eye shine because, you know, his eye would be kind of shiny probably. Okay. Do you want to do that or... Yeah, let's do it up here. Okay. Alright. Close your character folder. I'm going to show my filters folder again. And that's it. That's the image. That's my sort of semi-hot, hunky Aquaman image. Just show that to you in all of its glory. So yeah, thanks for taking the time to watch. I'd be shocked if you made it all the way through the video. This has been Drew Green, and you can find me at drew-green.tumblr.com. I'm also at King of Safari on Twitter. And yeah, like I said, I'll be selling my brush set on Gumroad soon, so just keep a lookout on my blog, and I will post that as soon as I feel ready to do so. And yeah, thank you for watching, and take care.